Season 4 was a tough one. Probably our toughest season yet, and one of the most satisfying seasons yet as well. It's hard for me to say which was my favorite season, which wasn't. Jesse's character evolution in season 4 was a tricky one for the writers and myself. In the early going, we said, well, you know, he's killed Gail Bedecker. He really did it. Going into season 4, with this emotional weight and freight that Jesse is carrying, this burden he's got on his shoulders, my writers and I said to ourselves, well, how do you react?
At the very beginning, Jesse's just trying to keep distracted so he's not left alone with his inner thoughts. And so he has this rager that just lasts days on days on top of days on top of days and doesn't want it to end.
Basically, Jesse turns his own house into a crack den. He's punishing himself, and the visualization of that is seeing his house deteriorate. We're waiting for him to break down in tears, to feel bad, to say, I'm sorry. We're waiting, and we wait for 7 episodes. We wait until Peter Gould's episode that he wrote and directed, in which the episode's called Problem Dog.
He goes to his recovery group, which is probably the scene I'm most proud of, maybe in the run of the show that I personally worked on, where he has this incredible internal struggle over who he is and what he's done.
A couple weeks back, I killed a dog.
In this amazing performance on the part of Aaron Paul, you see his anguish come to the surface.
No, I put him down.
Eventually, he's looking for punishment and judgment.
The thing is, if you just do stuff and nothing happens, what's it all mean? What's the point?
And eventually he stalks out and ruins his relationship with the only place that's really sort of a life preserver for him. Season 4 is really the season when Skylar becomes Walt's accomplice. She's more of a normal person than Walt is, really. Walt is exceptional. And so the question with Skylar is, how does a person who is relatable, who is understandable, who cares about her family, how does that person become part of this criminal world?
You are in over your head. No. That's what we tell them, and that's the truth.
That is not the truth.
My wife is coddling me again, and it's going to be dangerous for you. It's going to be dangerous. It's not about that. I'm in charge. I'm the one who takes control.
You clearly don't know who you're talking to, so let me clue you in. I am not in danger, Skylar. I am the danger.
I've got problems. I don't want to go and trace back things I've solved weeks ago. Please don't make me do that. I need to move forward in order to stay alive. And she doesn't realize that, so we're on different tracks.
A guy opens his door and gets shot, and you think that of me? No. I am the one who knocks.
One of my favorite parts of the piece is that you find out that Skylar's actually pretty talented.
Just a few more minutes and then we're on our way home. Okay, sweet girl? Mama's just doing her work here.
The previous season, she thought about going to the police, and now she really comes into her own with this idea of using the car wash as a money laundry.
You have a good, solid business plan. I'm feeling very confident. You have an excellent shot at making this work.
I guess one of the moments I was the most excited about is the fight between Walt and Jesse that shows up in episode 9 called Bug, where Jesse's under so much stress. They're playing him against Walt. You know, there's this master plan in place to wrest Jesse's loyalties away from Walt.
Can you cook Walter's formula?
What?
Jesse's just been told that he has to go to Mexico, and he's terrified, and he feels like he's going to fail, and he asks Walt to come over and ask him for his help.
Maybe you could coach me or something, you know, or you can give me some notes.
And Walt is so selfish and so self-interested that all he cares about is the fact that he knows that Jesse lied to him about whether or not he'd seen Gus.
So you saw Gus?
What? No.
You realize that we're not only exploring the physical danger of what Walter White is going through, but the emotional danger, the intellectual danger of who he is as a whole being, ugly in many ways. And so we needed to be honest in exposing him for all that he is.
I love what they did with Walt and Jesse's relationship throughout the season. It was just constant, just zigzag. Do I trust him? Do I not? And the thing is, they both are being loyal to one another, but they both don't really necessarily trust each other.
Advice? All right, I'll give you advice. Go to Mexico and screw up like I know you will, and wind up in a barrel somewhere.
It's almost like a lover's quarrel where Walt feels betrayed and usurped, and you're mine, and how dare you have dinner with Gus. And we get to this astonishing fight. It was the world's messiest, ugliest, most inept, brutal fight that was pure emotion, zero skill. And I loved writing to that moment. And it's this pivotal moment in their relationship where we think, it's over between them. It's over.
He slowly comes into the wing of Gus and Mike, and you see him, a different side of him, and he starts to emerge. It's heartbreaking because, we love Jesse. I think the audience loves Jesse. He's got this heart to him, but you see him kind of emerging as a criminal and coming into his own. And I thought that was a very interesting, for me, that was a very compelling kind of storyline.
If he wants to learn how to make my products, he's got to do it my way. The right way.
And Jesse said, people need him. And he needs that really to survive. He needs to believe that. And that's what I think this season was all about.
The surprising move for me, not because it's so brilliant, but because it was so personal, Gus wanting to get revenge for what happened to his partner, Max.
Bueno, vamos a ver. A ver qué hay aquí. No, imposible.
Gus seems like a person who's all business. It's really a weakness of his that he put his own life at risk, drinking poison himself to get revenge on a group of people who took away somebody really important to him.
The lead up to the ultimate confrontation between Walt and Giancarlo was one of the most exciting things of the season.
There's a sense of relief. There's a sense of pride, accomplishment. I did something that was masterful.
They're on the rooftop and they're shaking hands, and I thought, well, this is kind of neat and tidy. This is really interesting. I wonder, what's going to happen. And I turned the page and I read the Pushing on the Lily of the Valley and realized in that moment that Walt had poisoned Brock. I was so stunned. I was so shocked. It blew my mind.
Still saying it wasn't the ricin. I don't understand. Then what was it? Saying it was most likely a flower called Lily of the Valley.
And I did not see it coming, and I did not expect it. And these are genius writers. I mean, they're so brilliant. They got us, and I loved it.
Was this you?
The last scene when I'm on the roof and I'm talking to Skylar and she says, "Did you have anything to do with this?" And I say, "It's over. We're safe." And she says, What happened?"
What happened?
I won.
And what does that mean, I won? I think to me, what Walt is saying is there's a new sheriff in town. There's maybe a new Gus Fring in town.